Marion Bartoli is a French former professional tennis player. She won the 2013 Wimbledon Championships singles title after previously being runner-up in 2007, and was a semi-finalist at the 2011 French Open. She also won 8 Women's Tennis Association singles titles and 3 doubles titles. She announced her immediate retirement from professional tennis on August 14, 2013. Bartoli defeated 3 reigning world number 1 players in her career, Justine Henin in the semi-final of the 2007 Wimbledon Championships, Jelena Janković in the 4th round of the 2009 Australian Open, and Victoria Azarenka in the quarterfinals of the 2012 Sony Ericsson Open. She also recorded wins over other top players such as Venus and Serena Williams, Ivanovic, Lindsay Davenport, Arantxa Sánchez Vicario, Dinara Safina, Wozniacki, Petra Kvitová, Samantha Stosur, and Kim Clijsters. She was known for her unorthodox style of play using 2 hands on both her forehand and backhand. On January 30, 2012 she reached a career-high ranking of number 7 in the world. She returned to this ranking on July 8, 2013 after triumphing at Wimbledon. Bartoli reached at least the quarter-final stage at each of the 4 Grand Slams. Her win at Wimbledon made her only the 6th player in the Open era to win the championships without dropping a single set. She is also the only player ever to have played at both the WTA Tour Championships and the WTA Tournament of Champions in the same year, in 2011. Early life and personal life. Bartoli was born in La Feuille-en-Velay, Haute-Loire. She is of Corsican descent. Her family is from Palmica, Corse du Sud. Bartoli was introduced to tennis by her medical doctor father, Walter, when she was 6 years old. She would practice tennis with him late at night after school on small, icy, unevenly surfaced courts which restricted free movement and influenced her playing style. He devised original training methods, such as improving hand-eye coordination by using balls of different size and color, or encouraging Marion to stay on her toes by taping tennis balls to the heels of her shoes. He drove hundreds of kilometers to tournaments while she would do her homework in the back of the car. Playing style. Bartoli was known for her unorthodox and intense style of play on the court. She used 2 hands on both the forehand and the backhand, and was generally classed as an aggressive and hard-hitting player who played primarily from the baseline. She developed her 2-handed style on the advice of her father and longtime coach, Walter Bartoli. He had seen the classic 1992 French Open final in which Monica Seles defeated Steffi Graf, and immediately was inspired to teach Seles' technique to his daughter. Bartoli had previously had trouble with her forehand, but it improved significantly when she made the switch to 2 hands. Her game was based on power and she used her double-fisted strokes to create sharp angles to open up the court and preferred to take the ball very early on ground strokes. Her serve was considered a weakness but her return of serve was considered to be her biggest weapon and she often stood well inside the baseline to receive serve, even on first serves, and managed to take advantage of breakpoint opportunities. Bartoli was not a natural athlete so she was not a strong mover around the court and instead relied on her excellent hand-eye coordination and anticipation skills. Her style of play could be most closely compared to that of Seles, who had a strong influence on Bartoli as a young player. In a tennis TV interview during the 2012 U.S. Open tournament, Bartoli explained that both Seles and she are left-handed, and that she had a very weak forehand before changing to 2 hands. Bartoli was not a very good mover on court, a state exacerbated by her 2-fisted strokes, which made her vulnerable to fast all-court players such as Arantxa Radwanska. Bartoli did however work on her fitness and mobility throughout her career to varying success. Bartoli was also known for her unusual serve, in which she used her wrist to generate speed. She also changed her service motion many times over the years. During the 2013 Wimbledon Championships, she had an unusual setup for serves, no ball bouncing, arms crossed, right wrist resting on her left thumb before the toss. Bartoli manifested unusual on-court mannerisms, such as energetically bouncing on the spot and practicing racket swings between points, and being noticeably restless during changeovers. She claimed that this was to maintain the focus needed for her intense style of play. Relationship with her father. Bartoli's father, who had no background in tennis, had years earlier retired from his career as a medical doctor to learn how to become a tennis coach and coach her to become a professional tennis player. Bartoli denies allegations that her close relationship with her father is a public show to hide a dominating parent. She has resisted pressure to play without him, including giving up the chance to play at the Olympics in London in 2012 because she would not play in the Fed Cup without his private coaching. On February 10, 2013, Bartoli announced that the coaching set up with her father, who had been her coach throughout her tennis career, had come to an end by mutual agreement. Bartoli stated at the time that she would be working with physical trainer Nicolas Perrot and former player Gabriel Urpi until she found a new coach who could take her to the next level and help her win her first Grand Slam singles title. On March 9, 2013, it was announced on the WTA website that Bartoli was being coached by Yana Novotná, but they cancelled the coaching arrangement after just 1 week. She was then coached by former world number 1 and Wimbledon champion Arma copyright Lie Morismo. Equipment. Bartoli retired whilst using the Prince EX03 Warrior racket. She had previously used the Prince EX03 Black and the Prince 03 Red. All her Prince rackets were specially modified in New York to make them longer by 2.0 inches than standard rackets to give her better reach with her two-handed strokes. She started using the 29-inch frames in 2006 and soon won her first tournament in Auckland. For many years she had no clothing sponsor, but wore Nike. In October 2011, she signed a 3-year clothing deal with Lotto. Before her breakthrough into the top 100, Bartoli was playing with a standard-length baʁtɔli racket and she was wearing Lecoq sportive apparel. Due to her small hands, her rackets had a very small grip size of 0. Tennis career. Early years, Bartoli started entering tournaments regularly at the age of 16. After a few aborted starts in 1999 and 2000, she played in the ITF $10,000 clay events in the spring of 2001. Winning 2 tournaments back-to-back in May ensured that she would be given a wildcard into her first Grand Slam, the French Open, where she lost to Catalina Castor ±0 in the first round. Bartoli also won another tournament in Coxide, Belgium. In 2002 she received a wildcard into the Australian Open. She lost to Tina Pisnik in 3 sets. She then won her 4th ITF title in Columbus, Ohio. She followed that with a first-round exit at the French Open, losing in 3 sets to Isugi Alma. In the US Open where she qualified, she defeated Arantxa Sánchez Vicario, which was Bartoli's first win over a player in the top 100. She followed that with a win over Rosana de los Llanos, before losing to 4th seed Lindsay Davenport. 2003, Bartoli began 2003 by coming through the qualifying draw in the Canberra Women's Classic to reach her first WTA semi-final, where she lost to Francesca Iavone. At the Australian Open, where she earned her place in a Grand Slam through her ranking for the first time, she lost to 11th seed Magdalena Malival in the first round. She qualified for Key Biscayne, Florida and made it to the quarterfinals, after Lindsay Davenport retired in their 4th round match due to injury. In the quarterfinals she lost to Serena Williams. In the International de Strasbourg Bartoli reached the quarterfinals, where she lost to Vera Zvonova. At the 2003 French Open, she earned her first victory over Rosana de los Llanos, but lost to Jennifer Capriati in the second round. At her first Wimbledon, she drew the 9th seed Daniela Hantuchova in the first round, and lost. At the Acura Classic Bartoli defeated her first top 20 player, Megan Shaughnessy, before losing to Kim Clijsters in the third round. At the US Open she lost to Hantuchova in the first round. At the end of the year, she reached the quarterfinals of Bell Challenge, losing to Milagros Sekera. 2004, Bartoli began 2004 by getting to her first Women's Tennis Association semi-final in the season opener in Auckland. She then got to the second round of the Australian Open for the first time, losing to 22nd seeded Patty Schneider. In February Bartoli played at the 2004 Hyderabad Open, where she defeated Ankita Bambri, Galina Fokina, and Movana Jugiasalka to reach the semi-finals, before losing to eventual champion Nicole Pratt. This performance briefly made her a top 50 player. Bartoli refound her doubles form of late 2003. Partnering compatriot Permil Mali-Lloyd, she reached the semi-finals of Acapulco, the quarter-finals of Indian Wells, and then Bartoli won her first WTA Tour doubles title in Casablanca. After a forgettable singles clay court season, she climbed back up the rankings by reaching the third round of Wimbledon. She also got to the quarter-finals of Wimbledon in doubles, partnering Lloyd for the second successive Grand Slam. Bartoli got to her third singles semi-final of the year in Cincinnati, before pulling out of her match with Lindsay Davenport with a blister on her right hand. She reached a second round of the U.S. Open, despite being drawn against 32nd seeded Megan Shaughnessy in the first round. She lost to Russian Vera Douchevina in the second round. In the absence of AMA copyright Lai Moresmo and Mary Pierce due to injuries, Bartoli received her debut Fed Cup call-up for France's semi-finals against Spain. She was teamed with Lloyd again and helped complete a 5-0 whitewash of the Spanish team. In the final against Russia, Bartoli's and Lloyd's doubles match against Miskina and Vereshvanova was the decisive rubber. The Russian pair won, earning the Fed Cup for Russia for the first time. As a result, Bartoli's team leader Guy Forget resigned, and she was not chosen by the new team leader Georges Govan to play in 2005. She ended 2004 ranked world number 41, having gone 30-24 over the year. Her hard court record was 23-13, with clay going for -7, grass 3-3, and carpet 0-1. 2005. After a promising start, which took her to world number 32 and winning the second doubles tournament of her career in Pattaya City, injury disrupted the second quarter of 2005. The only match Bartoli played in the clay court season was her straight sets first round loss to Shaha Peyo at the French Open. Her quarter-final run at Eastbourne led her to a career-high ranking of number 27 at the start of Wimbledon, where she lost to Jill Craibers in the second round. Highlights of the year were reaching the third round of the U.S. Open for the second time and making her second Women's Tennis Association semi-final of the year in Quade copyright Beck. Her end-of-season statistics were 35-26, albeit padded by a victory in a satellite tournament in Doha at the end of the year. She went 30-21 on hard courts, 0-1 on clay, 3-3 on grass, and 2-1 on carpet. She was now ranked world number 40. 2006. In January 2006, Bartoli at 21 years of age won her first senior title at the ASB Classic in Auckland, New Zealand, beating Vereshvanova in the final. She then lost in the second round of the first three Grand Slam events of the year, but she won her third career doubles title by capturing the ECM Prague Open with Shaha Peyo in May. The North American summer hard court season was very productive for Bartoli, as she reached the third round of 5 of the 7 tournaments she entered, including the U.S. Open, where she again lost in the third round, this time to 7th-seeded Patty Schneider. The following week she beat Schneider en route to her second final of the year in Bali, where she lost to world number 5 Svetlana Kostsova. In October Bartoli won her second Women's Tennis Association singles title at the AIG Japan Open Tennis Championships, beating Aiko Nakamura in the final. This was the first ever WTA final contested by two players using two-handed strokes on both the forehand and backhand. As a result of winning the title, Bartoli broke into the top 20 for the first time. In her last event of the year, she captured the Bell Challenge in Quebec City, defeating Olga Pushkova without losing a game in the final. Bartoli finished the year ranked world number 17. Her record was 45-28, her best on tour so far. That consisted of 37-17 on hard courts, 4-6 on clay, 3-3 on grass, and 1-2 on carpet. She was 3-6 against top 10 players. 2007. Bartoli began 2007 with another second-round exit at the Australian Open, this time falling to Victoria Azarenka. In the clay court season, she reached the final of the ECM Prague Open in May, losing to Akiko Morigami. After reaching the semi-finals in Strasbourg, she lost to Arma Copyright-Lie Morismo. Bartoli reached her first career Grand Slam fourth round at the French Open by defeating Aravan Rezera, Andrea Petkovic, and 13th seed Elena Dementieva. In the fourth round, she was knocked out by fourth seed Jelena Janković, though Bartoli injured her back during this match. In the grass court season, she reached the semi-finals at Birmingham, where she lost to Maria Sharapova. She also reached the semi-finals at Eastbourne, but lost to world number 1 Justine Henin. At Wimbledon, Bartoli made her Grand Slam breakthrough by advancing to her first Grand Slam final, after defeating top-seeded Justine Henin in the semi-final, in one of the biggest upsets in Wimbledon history. Bartoli lost the first set, and claimed afterwards that the reason for her turnaround in the match was seeing Pierce Brosnan in the royal box and being determined to play well in front of one of her favorite actors. In the final, Bartoli lost to three-time former champion Venus Williams. As a result of her Wimbledon performance, she rose to a career high of number 11 in the Women's Tennis Association rankings. At the US Open, Bartoli reached the fourth round for the first time by defeating world number 25 Lucy Angstrom a fast-so unregistered trademark over. In the fourth round, she lost to Grand Slam champion Serena Williams. At the Fortis Championships in Luxembourg, she reached her first semi-final since her Wimbledon run, but then lost to Daniela Hantuchova. At the Tirai event in Zárványkötőrich Bartoli reached the quarterfinals, where she retired due to injury in her match against Tatiana Golovin. Despite her injury, Bartoli played at the Generali Ladies Linz in Austria, and reached the semi-finals, where she was defeated by Patti Schneider. This ended her hopes of reaching the WTA Tour Championships. However, after Serena Williams withdrew from the tournament due to injury, Bartoli entered the event and played in the yellow group, where she lost to Justine Henin without winning a game, but defeated Jelena Janković after the Serbian retired. Her final record for the year was 47-31, with 19-16 on hard courts, 14-7 on clay, 12-3 on grass, and 2-5 on carpet. Her record against top 10 players was 4-8. Despite not having earned a single title all year, she ended the year as a top 10 player at number 10. 2008, at the Australian Open, Bartoli was upset by Sofia Lovitzin after Bartoli was up a break in both the second and third sets. At the Open Gaz de France, Bartoli made it to the semi-finals following easy wins over Virginie Razzano and Dominika Cibulkova. In her semi-final she lost to Anna Shakhvtadze. At the French Open, she played through injury and was defeated by Casey Dell'Equa in the first round. At Eastbourne, she defeated Sibyl Bama and Elisa Klibanova and reached the semi-finals, where she lost to eventual champion Arantxa Sánchez. At Wimbledon, she was seeded 11th and defeated Sabine Lisicki and Tatiana Paribanes. She was then upset by Bethany Matke, suffering calf and shoulder injuries. Seeded 6th at Stanford, Bartoli defeated Akdalama Muradova, Anne Kvitová, defending champion Anna Shakhvtadze, and Isugi Alma, to move into her first final since Wimbledon in 2007. In the final, Bartoli lost to the Canadian qualifier Alexandra Wozniacki. In Montreal, she beat Melanie South, Anna Shakhvtadze and Isugi Alma to reach the semi-finals, where she was defeated by Dominika Cibulkova. At the US Open, Bartoli was seeded 12th and beat Galina Voskobojeva, Virginia Romano Pascual and former champion and 23rd seed Lindsay Davenport to reach the fourth round, where she lost to 29th seeded Sibyl Bama. 2009, Bartoli's first event during the new WTA calendar was the inaugural Brisbane International. She was seeded third and defeated Monica Wedgett, Melinda Zink, and Tatiana Garbin. During the semi-final against Arma Copyright-Lie Morismo, the latter had to retire due to injury. Securing Bartoli a place in the final, which she lost to Victoria Azarenka. Seeded 16th at the Australian Open, Bartoli defeated Melanie South, Svetlana Pironkova, Lucy Angstrom a fast unregistered trademark over and top seed Jelena Janković to reach the quarterfinals, where she lost to 7th seed Vera Zvonova. Bartoli won her 4th career title at the Monterrey Open. Seeded second, she beat Maʁjɔ Krajicek, Magdala Copyright Naribirikova, Vania King, and Zhang Jai to reach the final, where she defeated unseeded Li Na. In Charleston, Bartoli was seeded 6th and defeated Anastasia Sevastova, Melanie Audin, and Melinda Zink to reach the semi-finals, where she lost to eventual champion Sabine Lisicki. At the French Open, Bartoli won her opening match against fellow Frenchwoman Pauline Parmentier, but was then defeated by Tatiana Garbin in the second round. Seeded 12th at Wimbledon, Bartoli defeated Chan Young-jan without losing a game in the first round. She then defeated Tamia Baksinski in the second round, but fell to Francesca Iavone in the third. Bartoli played her first tournament of the US Open Series in Stanford as 8th seed. She won the title by defeating Amy Morita, Melanie Audin, Jelena Janković, Samantha Stosur in the semi-finals, and 2nd seed Venus Williams in the final, to win her 2nd title of the year and 5th overall. Seeded 14th at the 2009 US Open, Bartoli beat Rosana de los Llanos, but lost to eventual champion Kim Clijsters. At the Toray Pan Pacific Open in Tokyo, Bartoli was seeded 14th and reached the quarterfinals, where she lost to 7th seed Jelena Janković. Seeded 14, Bartoli reached the semi-finals of the China Open in Beijing. She defeated Magdala Copyright Naribirikova, Aliza Klibanova, Zhang Xiai, and Vera Zvonova. In the semi-finals, she lost to 12th seed Arantxa Sánchez. At the 2009 Commonwealth Bank Tournament of Champions in Bali, Bartoli defeated Rybakova, and qualified for the semi-finals when she beat Sharapova. She then defeated Kimiko Date-Krum. In the final against Aravan Reza, Bartoli retired due to injury. 2010, Bartoli started her year as the 11th seed at the 2010 Australian Open. She defeated Rosana de los Llanos in the first round and Sandra Zalevova in the second. In the third round she lost to unseeded and eventual semi-finalist Zhang Jai. At the 2010 Sony Ericsson Open in Miami, Bartoli defeated Magdala Copyright Naribirikova, Jasladalko, top seed and world number 4 Svetlana Kostsova, and Yanina Wickmeyer to reach the semi-finals, where she lost to world number 5 Venus Williams. In the 2010 French Open, Bartoli was the 12th seed and French number 1. She beat Maria Elena Cameron in the first round and compatriot and wildcard Olivia Sanchez in the second, but was defeated by Sharapova in the third round. Bartoli was seeded 8th at the Aigan International at Eastbourne. She defeated Vera Dushevina, a GNES Zave and Mara Adjoza Copyright Martinez Nchez to reach the semi-finals for the 4th consecutive year. In the semi-final she lost to Victoria Azarenka. Bartoli was seeded 11th at the 2010 Wimbledon Championships. She defeated Julia Gar-Paragraph RGES in the first round, then moved straight into the third round after Petra Kvitová withdrew from the tournament with suspected injury. In the third round she defeated qualifier Gra Copyright Ta'an, before falling in the fourth round to eventual semi-finalist Svetlana Pironkova. At the 2010 Bank of the West Classic in Stanford, California, where she was defending her title, she defeated Ashley Harkelrode and Ana Ivanovic to reach the quarterfinals, where she lost to Victoria Azarenka. Bartoli also reached the quarterfinals at the 2010 Western and Southern Financial Group Women's Open in Cincinnati, after defeating Annabelle Medina Garrix, Ilona Bondarenko and world number 3 Caroline Wozniacki. In the quarterfinals, she was defeated by 10th seed Maria Sharapova. Bartoli managed a further quarter-final appearance at the Rogers Cup in Montreal, where she was seeded 17th. In the quarter-finals, she was defeated for the third time this year by 10th seed Victoria Azarenka. At her final tournament before the US Open, the 2010 Pilot Pen Tennis Tournament in New Haven, Bartoli was seeded 6th and defeated Ilona Bondarenko and Anastasia Rodionova to reach the quarter-finals, where she lost to 4th seed Elena Dementieva. At the 2010 US Open, Bartoli was seeded 13th and defeated Edina Gorlovitz in the first round. In the second round, she was upset by world number 157 and French compatriot Virginie Razzano. At the 2010 Horsepower Open in Osaka, Japan, Bartoli was seeded second behind Samantha Stosur. She reached the semi-finals by defeating Julie Coyne, Stephanie Var-Paragraph-Giel and Jill Krabers, then lost in the semi-final to Tamarine Tanner-Zagan. Bartoli ended the year at world number 16 with a total record of 34-21 and a record of 2-4 against top 10 players. 2011. Bartoli kicked off her 2011 season at the 2011 Brisbane International. She was seeded fourth and reached the semi-finals, where she was defeated by Andrea Petkovic. Bartoli was top-seeded at the 2011 Murrayilla Hobart International in her first appearance at the tournament. She lost to fifth seed Klara Zakopalova in the quarter-finals. Bartoli was seeded 15th at the 2011 Australian Open, where she defeated Tatiana Garbin in the first round without losing a game. She lost against Vesna Manasieva in the second round, though Bartoli suffered an injury in the first set. At the 2011 Qatar Ladies Open in Doha, Bartoli was unseeded but reached the semi-finals, where she lost to world number 1 and top seed Caroline Wozniacki. Bartoli was seeded second at the 2011 BMW Malaysian Open in Kuala Lumpur, where she reached the quarter-finals and lost to fifth seed Lucy Angstrom afar so unregistered trademark over. Bartoli was seeded 15th at the 2011 BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells. She defeated Monica Niculescu, Andrea Petkovic, Kim Clijsters, Ana Ivanovic and Janina Wickmeyer to reach the final, where she lost to world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki. As a result of her run to the final, Bartoli returned to the top 10. Bartoli was the top seed at the 2011 International de Strasbourg, and reached the final where she faced second seed Andrea Petkovic. However, she had to retire early in the second set. Seeded 11th at the 2011 French Open, Bartoli won her opening round against Anna Tatishvili. In the second round she beat Olga Gavitsova, then defeated 17th seed Julia Gar-Paragraph-Rges in the third. She moved into the quarter-finals after Jasladalko retired during their fourth-round match. She beat 13th seed Svetlana Kostsova in the quarter-finals. In the semi-finals she lost to defending champion Francesca Iavone. Moving on to the grass, Bartoli won the 2011 Icon International at Eastbourne by defeating Lucy Angstrom afar so unregistered trademark over and Mara Adjosa copyright Martinez NCHEZ. She then moved past third seed Victoria Azarenka when Azarenka retired during their match due to a thigh injury. Bartoli reached the semi-finals for the fifth straight year and beat seventh seed Samantha Stosur. She then beat eighth seed Petra Kvitová to win the title. Bartoli was seeded ninth at the 2011 Wimbledon Championships. She defeated Czech qualifier Krista Plakova in the first round, Lourdes Dorman-Lino in the second, and 21st seed Flavia Pennetta in the third. She then defeated defending champion and grass court veteran Serena Williams in the fourth round. Bartoli described beating Williams as the greatest win of her life. In the quarter-finals Bartoli was defeated by Sabine Lisicki in a match notable for taking place under the center court roof in the middle of a thunderstorm. At Stanford, where Bartoli was seeded third, she reached the final after Amy Morita, her opponent in the quarter-finals, retired, and Dominika Cibulkova, her opponent in the semi-finals, withdrew. In the final Bartoli was defeated by Serena Williams. Due to her lack of match play before the US Open, Bartoli accepted a wildcard into the 2011 New Haven Open at Yale. She won her opening two rounds, defeating Anastasia Rodionova and Klara Zakopalova, before losing to Petra Kvitová in the quarter-finals. At the 2011 US Open, Bartoli suffered a second-round exit. After defeating Alexandra Panova in the first round, she lost to American teenager Christina McHale. Following her poor run in the United States, Bartoli's ranking dropped to number 10, and her race ranking dropped to number 8. Seeded 7th at the 2011 Toray Pan Pacific Open in Tokyo, Bartoli reached the quarter-finals, where she was defeated by third seed Victoria Azarenka. At the 2011 Horsepower Open in Osaka, Bartoli defeated Melinda Zink, Vania King, 6th seed Amy Morita, and 3rd seed Angelique Kerber to reach the final. She took the title by defeating top seed and US Open champion Samantha Stosur. Bartoli finished the year 9th in the race to the year-end championships in Istanbul, thus earning a place as the first alternate player. Following the withdrawal of 2nd seed Maria Sharapova after her second of 3 matches, Bartoli took her place in the final match against Victoria Azarenka, which she won. Bartoli finished the year ranked number 9 in the world with a best win-loss record of her career at 58-24. She reached 15 quarterfinals, 8 semifinals, and 5 finals, and won 2 titles, resulting in her best year financially, earning $1,722,863 in tournament prize money. 2012, Bartoli competed for France alongside Richard Gasquet in the 2012 Hopman Cup. They defeated China, Australia, and Spain to book a place against the Czech Republic in the final, which they lost. Bartoli reached the quarter-finals of her first WTA tournament of the year in Sydney and was seeded 8th. In the quarter-final she was defeated by 3rd seed Victoria Azarenka. At the 2012 Australian Open, Bartoli defeated compatriot Virginie Razzano in the first round and Jelena Janković in the second round. In the third round, she was upset by Zhang Jie. After the tournament Bartoli broke into the top 8 in the rankings for the first time. Ranked number 7, Bartoli was seeded second for the 2012 Open GDF Suez in Paris. She received a bye into the second round, then defeated Petra Kvitová, Roberta Vinci and Klara Zakopalova to reach the final, which she lost to Angelique Kerber. In Doha, Bartoli was seeded 5th and advanced to the semi-finals by defeating Annabelle Medina Garrigues, Svetlana Pironkova, and Lucy Angstrom Afarso on registered trademark over. She retired due to an injury against 3rd seed Samantha Stosur in the semi-finals. At Indian Wells, Bartoli reached the quarter-finals by defeating Varvara Lepchenko, Chanel Shipas, and Lucy Angstrom Afarso on registered trademark over. She fell to Ana Ivanovic. Seeded 7th in Miami, Bartoli defeated Polina Hercog, Simona Halep, Maria Kirilenko and world number 1 Victoria Azarenka to reach the semi-finals, where she was defeated by 5th seed and eventual champion Arantxa Sánchez. Bartoli was seeded 8th at the 2012 French Open, where she was defending semi-final points from the previous year. Bartoli defeated qualifier Karolina Pliskova in the first round, but in the second round was upset by Petra Kvitová. At Eastbourne, Bartoli defeated Sorana Car registered trademark RSTEA, Alexandra Wozniacki, and Lucy Angstrom Afarso on registered trademark over to reach the semi-finals, where she was defeated by eventual champion Tamira Pasek. In the first round of Wimbledon, Bartoli defeated Casey Dell'Acqua. Her run ended with a loss to Maʁjɔ Luia in the second round. Seeded second at the 2012 Bank of the West Classic in Stanford, Bartoli reached the quarter-finals, where she lost to Janina Wickmeyer. At the 2012 Mercury Insurance Open in Carlsbad, California, Bartoli was the top seed. She received a bye into the second round, then defeated Vania King, Christina McHale and Chan Young-jan to reach the final, which she lost to second seed and close friend Dominika Cibulkova. Bartoli did not compete in the 2012 Summer Olympics because she had refused to play in the Fed Cup without the coaching of her father. At the 2012 New Haven Open at Yale, Bartoli reached the quarterfinals, where she lost to Sara Errani. Bartoli reached the quarterfinals for the first time at the 2012 US Open, upsetting 5th seed Petra Kvitová in the fourth round. Bartoli was defeated in the quarterfinals by Maria Sharapova. This performance meant Bartoli has now reached the quarterfinals or better in all 4 Grand Slams. Bartoli reached the semi-finals in Beijing, losing to Victoria Azarenka. 2013, Wimbledon title and retirement. Bartoli started the 2013 season by participating in a new tournament, the 2013 Shenzhen Open. She was seeded second and reached a quarterfinals, where she was defeated by 5th seed Klara Zakopalova. Bartoli was seeded 11th at the 2013 Australian Open in Melbourne. She reached the third round, where she was defeated by the 19th seed Ekaterina Makarova. At the 2013 Open GDF Suez in Paris, Bartoli reached the quarterfinals, where she was defeated by German and eventual champion Mona Bothell. Bartoli entered her first tournament without her father acting as her coach at the 2013 Qatar Total Open, where she was seeded 9th. She lost to Svetlana Kostova in the second round. At the 2013 French Open, Bartoli was seeded 13th. She defeated Olga Gavitsova in the first round, qualifier Mariana Duke Marino in the second, but lost to Francesca Iavone in the third. At Wimbledon, Bartoli was seeded 15th. She defeated Elena Svitolina in the first round, Christina Mikhail in the second, Kamila Georgi in the third, and Karen Knapp in the fourth. In the quarterfinals she defeated 17th seed Sloane Stephens, which was her first quarterfinal victory of any WTA Tour or Grand Slam event in 2013. In the semifinals she beat 20th seed Kirsten Flipkens to reach her second Wimbledon final. In the final she faced 23rd seed Sabine Lisicki, who had beaten pre-tournament favorite Serena Williams and 2012 finalist Arantxa Radwanska en route to the final. Bartoli won the match in straight sets for her first and only Grand Slam title. She did not drop a set in the entire tournament. She also became the female player who participated in the most Grand Slam tournaments before winning one, as this was her 47th such tournament. Bartoli also competed in the mixed doubles alongside Nicholas Monroe. They lost in the first round to Santiago Gonzalez and Natalie Grandin. Bartoli announced her immediate retirement from tennis during the 2013 Western and Southern Open, citing continuous and increasingly unbearable pain from injuries sustained throughout her career. At an emotional press conference, just 40 days after her Wimbledon victory, she said, "I made my dream a reality and it will stay forever with me, but now my body just can't cope with everything. I have pain everywhere after 45 minutes or an hour of play." In December 2013, Bartoli was chosen as the 2013 RTL Champion of Champions, ahead of Teddy Tamgho and Tony Parker, by RTL. This annual sports award was inaugurated in 2008. The previous winners were Alain Bernard, Czar Copyright Bastien Loeb, Christophe Lemaitre, Teddy Riner and Yannick Agnel. Bartoli was chosen as the 2013 LA Permail Cup Champion of Champions in December 2013. Rivalries: Bartoli vs Azarenka. Bartoli and Victoria Azarenka met 12 times since 2007. Azarenka leads the head-to-head 9-3 overall and 1-0 in the Grand Slams. Bartoli struggled in the early rivalry, losing the first 6 meetings between the pair, including in the second round of the 2007 Australian Open, the final of the 2009 Brisbane International and all 4 matches that eventuated in 2010. Bartoli got her first win over Azarenka in Eastbourne in 2011, winning after Azarenka retired at 2-6, 0-2 down with injury. At the 2011 WTA Tour Championships, Bartoli qualified as a reserve for Maria Sharapova and in the only match she played, she upset Azarenka in 3 sets, winning 5-7, 6-4, 6-4. The match had no meaning because Bartoli could not qualify for the semi-finals as Sharapova had lost her 2 matches and Azarenka had already qualified for the semi-finals. The pair met 3 times in 2012, with Bartoli losing 2 of the matches. Her victory in the Miami quarterfinals was significant though, as it snapped Azarenka's 26-match winning streak to start the season. Bartoli won 6-3, 6-3 to record what was at the time her 3rd victory over a reigning world number 1. Their most recent meeting was in the semi-finals of the China Open with Bartoli losing 4-6, 2-6 to the eventual champion Azarenka. Bartoli vs Janković. Bartoli and Jelena Janković have met 9 times since 2005. Bartoli leads the head-to-head 5-4 and they are tied 2-2 at Grand Slams. Bartoli won their first meeting in 2005 at Auckland 3-6, 7-6, 6, 6-1. Janković then won their next 3 meetings which included 2 wins at the French Open in 2006 and 2007. Bartoli won the next 4, including a 3-6, 7-5, 6-3 win in 2007 at Wimbledon where she went on to reach the final, and a 6-1, 6-4 win at the 2009 Australian Open against Janković who was ranked world number 1 at the time. Their last meeting was in 2009 in Tokyo where Janković won comfortably 6-4, 6-3. Career statistics and major finals. Grand Slam tournaments, singles, 2, singles performance timeline. This table is current through 2013 Wimbledon Championships. Records, references. External links, Marion Bartoli at the Women's Tennis Association, Marion Bartoli at the International Tennis Federation.